Next on the bench at Psychotech Labs, we decided, yeah, it's time to take on this project here. It's a homebrew linear. Well, this is my friend Master Mitch. Okay, so it's a Widowmaker, which a lot of homebrew linears are. Alright, so that's the plug-in for the high voltage right there. That comes out of the high voltage power supply over here and plugs in somehow to the RF deck. That'll kill you. This is high voltage, okay? I mean, anywhere from 2200, I would assume, to as much as 4000 volts. That's you don't do that on a high voltage one. So anyway, we will be putting in new high voltage wire, thanks to my friend Todd hooked me up with that. Yeah, we'll be mounting a high voltage plug in the power supply. The top cover and the power supply are both scratched up really bad. So we're going to go ahead and paint them, and we're going to use kind of a camouflage motif. Because it looks like a piece of military gear. So we're going to give it kind of a... And it's only on the top. I'm not going to paint the rest of it. And it's only on the power supply. So, yeah, that top definitely needs to be painted though. Might as well make it camouflage looking. So, next on the bench, another homebrew linear here at Psychotech Labs. Stay tuned for continuing adventures with this project. Okay, so I'm going to try some different mic adjustments here, and hopefully the audio is going to be better. Alright, so we got to take this side panel off, we got to take this top off, we got to cut a hole right there so that we can mount that high voltage plug in there. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're also going to paint the top of that to match that. When I'm done with this amp, I want it to have more of a kind of old military style. You know, like you're sitting there in World War II, you're in your bunker or whatever, and you're trying to communicate to the Allies. Yep. So, I don't know, it just looks like an old military piece of gear, so we're going to give it a good paint job. Plus that, the old black paint that was on there, completely scratched to hell and looks like crap. So, anyway, we're going to get to unscrewing, and we're going to get to drilling. Oh, yeah. So, basically, I want to get over here and start taking all these screws out. Oh, put a lot of screws on the RF deck too. Whoever built this thing really likes screws. Alright, Psychotech Labs signing out for now. Okay, the plug's mounted. So, this was coming out of the high voltage box. If you touch that, you're dead. This is how you should do it. You use a high voltage plug like this. Look, even if I stuck my little finger in there, I can't get all the way down where that is. Okay? Look how far down that is. This is going to come out of the RF deck. Okay? There's no voltage coming out of the RF deck. The voltage comes out of a high voltage power supply into the RF deck. So we just need to put an end on here and bolt it up to the high voltage plug. Open up the RF deck, access the high voltage wire on the RF deck, and then thanks to my friend Sling Blade, he hooked me up with some high voltage wire. So we'll be using some high voltage wire coming from the RF deck out to here. I don't really know that much about this wire here. That stuff's new. This is definitely good enough to use inside the high voltage box. So yeah, we still got to take this cover plate off and redo where this cord goes through. That's a no-no. That's sharp metal. Alright, rolling right along. Psychotech Labs. We'll be back after we do some more stuff. Yep. No, I'm not kidding. We will be back. Okay, so that's all mounted. I put a little dab of silicone adhesive on the end of that where the nut can never back off. It's all sealed up. One diode's already been replaced. You don't just replace one diode, you replace them all. The silicone breaks down on some brands of diodes. So I have to order 24 diodes because I am sure I don't have that many in stock. So we'll get to ordering. I got to order some other stuff too. So all we got left to do to the power supply is fix that cord and replace all those diodes. Come on, camera, focus. Pop this open, go all through it. I gotta run the high voltage wire out. I'm gonna solder on the plug. That plug right there. Moving right along on the Homebrew project. Catch me later. Psychotech Labs signing off for now. Okay. So today we're going to go ahead and pop the top and bottom off of the RF deck, and we're going to wire our high voltage wire. Going to take and get that wired up and put our high voltage plug on the end of that. Not much more to say about it than that. Let's crack the tins and get on it. See ya. Okay, I cracked the bottom. It doesn't really look too bad at all. So I am not seeing any place where that high voltage wire plugged in. I mean, serious. Maybe I'm going blind. This here is the plug for the to power the transformer in the power supply. But yeah, kind of stumped. It's been unhooked, apparently. So we're running a pair of 4-400s in there, so low drive tubes. Supposedly this thing was working. Supposedly. But yeah, it's not on the sides. Definitely is not on the front. I don't know. Is this like a practical joke or what? yeah, it's yeah, it's got nothing there to plug that in. That's the output. That's supposed to hook up to something, I guess, but wherever that something was, it's not there now. No biggie, we were going to totally redo that anyway. Okay. Well, let's find a good place to tap into the high voltage and run our new high voltage wire. And I don't know. We'll see if we can figure out where it used to plug in at. Alright, Psychotech Labs. What another mystery. That's an SO239 connector. Okay. This is going up to the RF blocking choke. Right there. That's where they're patching in this right here. God, when I said this fucker was a Widowmaker, I wasn't kidding. Jesus. Okay. Mystery solved. So we're shit canning this abortion. Alright. Psychotech Labs moving right along. Mystery solved. Okay. So we got our grommet. Got our wire. The wire's going to hook into there. Wire goes to the power supply. Plugs in right there. Okay. So, no way you can get electrocuted. Well, I'm sure if you fired this thing up, pulled this plug out, stuck a screwdriver in there and grabbed the metal part of the screwdriver, yeah, you could electrocute yourself, but that's what it would take. Alright. Psychotech Labs. That's what we did today. What did you do today? Catch me later. Over and out. Okay, back on the Homebrew project. As we pointed out earlier, somebody had replaced one of the diodes with a cobbled together little mess, and that's scary. One diode blew, they're all probably getting ready to go. Okay, we got our board. We got a shitload of these 3 amp 1000 volt diodes. We're going to go ahead and make us up a new new board. Might as well start over from scratch. Yeah. Psychotech Labs, man. Someday this linear is going to slam the band, so stay tuned for that. Here we go. Let's make a diode rectifier bridge. Yay. Okay, I got all the diodes mounted. The next step is you have to twist all these little legs together the right way. I'm also going to have to drill a couple holes in the new board for mounting. But yep, coming right along. Catch me later. Okay, so we tested it, our new diode board. We ran 12 volt AC into it, and it didn't blow up, it didn't fry, and it produced unfiltered DC coming out. And yeah, so we're ready to put that in the into the high voltage box on the Homebrew linear, so stay tuned for that. Okay, so we replaced some of the rest of the wiring in here. So that's the rectifier board we replaced. Replaced it because I already had one diode fail. So usually they're rest are not too far behind. They had this sticking out of it, which is not high voltage wire. So today we gotta finish painting the top, and we got to pull the side cover off, drill this out, get a grommet in there, make it so you can't pull that out through the case. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to get on pulling that side cover off, modifying it. We're going to put the bottom on the linear. We're all done there. So yeah, we're getting close to actually powering this unit up and seeing what happens. So stay tuned for that. Psychotech Labs. We'll be right back after these brief messages from sponsors we don't even have. Okay, so that did the best I could. It's actually going through part of the base on the high voltage power supply. There's a little bit of gap in between it, so I packed it completely full of silicone inside and out, so that should never short out. Plugged the hole, got our top painted. Isn't that sexy looking? Now she's looking like some military stuff, right? And we got high voltage plug in there. Wait for the silicone to dry and the paint on the top of the thing. So tomorrow, I guess, nothing left to do but plug the thing in, right? Right. Turn it on. See what the hell it does. Supposedly it was turning on and putting out power the way it was, but it was totally not safe. Total death trap. Alright, we'll be back after the paint dries. Of course, we could leave the camera running for the silicone and paint to dry. Wouldn't that be exciting? Of course it would. Alright, I'm done. See ya. Okay. You know, a lot of technicians out there. A lot of them work on nice, safe, low voltage radios. Then there's other techs that work on the high voltage or mid voltage stuff, like your tram tube radios and stuff. Then there's guys crazy enough, they'll fuck around with the super high voltage big amps. I'm nervous as hell, I always am. I'm a little scared, I always am. We pumped 12 volts AC into that new rectifier diode board that we made, and it seemed to work okay. So now we're going to be pumping, you know, 3,000 volts through that. I checked everything out best I could. It's time to grow a pair, I guess, and flip the switches. Start out with the filament, and we'll have to hit the high voltage. The tubes in here, there's a pair of 4-400s. Okay. Tube specs on the 4-400s is 5 watts of drive, get you 400 watts out. Okay, so they're a low drive tube. We're going to be spanking it to start with. They've got 2 watts swinging 14. Alright. Nothing left to do but grow a pair and hit some switches. Starting with the filament. We have primary ignition sequence, boys and girls. That's right. Primary ignition sequence. Still got one more switch to hit. That's the high voltage. That's going to energize the shit. Here we go. So far so good. I'm not seeing the voltmeter go up though. That's just the problem with the voltmeter. Okay, it turns on. I'm going to go ahead and next we're going to plug in the foot pedal switch and hit the foot pedal switch to see what happens. So stand by for that. Psychotech Labs will be back. Okay, foot pedal switch is installed. Listen to it come online. That's cool as hell. Hello. Okay, well, it's not keying with the foot pedal switch. So, damn, I was hoping for more. This linear supposedly worked. It's not making very good power. I don't know what's going on, but it's my job to find out. So, oh wait, there's another switch there. Nope. Here. Nope. Okay. Well, damn. So we're going to have to test the foot pedal switch, and we'll start with the easy thing first and then work our way in. Nothing blew up, but yeah, it's not keying, so it's not making power. Let's sort that mess out, figure out what the hell, and I'll be back after these brief messages from sponsors I don't have. That's Psychotech Labs. Okay, so we got our voltmeter out, continuity tester mode. Okay. It's not keying because the foot pedal switch is dead. So, you think that could be why it's not keying up? I think so. I'm getting rid of that banana plug. We're going to put an RC jack in the back. That way I can use my shop foot pedal. Any standard foot pedal will work on it at that point, because they all use the RC jack. Alright. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll swap that out and use our foot pedal switch and power it up again. See what the hell happens. We'll be back. Okay, the RC jack is soldered in. We got my foot pedal on there, which worked last time I used it. So, get the pass through. She's on. This is where I wind up. Audio. We get power out. Audio. Audio. Hello. Audio. 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 Well, it ain't much power, but it's a start. Audio. Okay. Thank you, God. Thank you, thank you. Alright. So, coming back to life. Psychotech Labs, man. Oh yeah. It's not a Widowmaker anymore. And we're going to go ahead and hook up a little driver linear. And these tubes, according to the spec sheet, it's supposed to be 5 watts input, and with enough plate voltage, maximum 400 watt output per tube, because they're 4-400s. That means they're the lower drive tube. So we're going to set up the little M500 driver linear, and that should be about 10 watts dead key, about 20 PEP, and that should tickle it a little harder. So basically, let's hook that up and put a little bit more excitation in it. Psychotech Labs, where the psychos go, and yeah, you gotta be psycho to work on shit like this. Excuse my French. Okay, we're back. Let's see what we're doing for power. Audio. Hello. 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 Then my little driver linear doesn't seem to be working quite right. Well, we could put out a little more, I guess. Let's go ahead and see what the heck. Audio. Well, that's not really spanking it hard enough. It needs to be spanked harder. But switch to the next size up linear, and we'll tap it with that. We'll be back. Okay. This time we'll spank it with a Palomar TX 50. Give it some juice. Hello. Hello, hello. Audio. So that's 12 watts swinging to 50. So each tube is supposed to be 5 watts drive, so 2 tubes would be 10 watts. So this should peg the 200 watt scale. Easily taking it. Yeah. 650 watts. Well, I'm thinking that's a wrap. Yeah. Other than the tank network. Yeah, the tank coil in there, it's pathetic. We're going to build a new tank coil. See if we can massage a few more watts out of this baby. Well, there you have it. Another Homebrew linear, re-engineered, redesigned at Psychotech Labs. So all we got left to do is finish the tank coil, build a new, better one, because that one that's in there is pathetic. I'm surprised it's doing as good as it's doing. Okay, hey, what more can I say? We'll be back after we build the new tank coil and get the tank coil massaged and tuned and resonant. Let's see if we can get us 800 watts out of this bad boy after we rebuild the tank coil. See you later. We'll be back. Stay tuned for another exciting episode of Psychotech Labs. Okay, so today we're going to change out that tank coil for one that not only looks better but should work a lot better too. Okay, another thing, the voltmeter is not working, so we're going to safely troubleshoot the voltmeter. Probably going, Psychotech Labs, how could you safely do the voltmeter? It's just not possible. Oh yes it is. We don't have to pump thousands of volts into the circuit. No, we can pump 14.2 volts into that circuit. How can you do that, Psychotech Labs? Wait, check this out. Okay, so we want to work on the RF deck safely. Bam, we are now safe. Okay, all the high voltage is in the box, nothing's going up to the RF deck. How are we going to test the voltage circuit? We're going to pump 14.2 volts into the high voltage plug here. Yeah, and then we're going to trace it out with our handy dandy voltmeter. Stay tuned, that's coming up later on Psychotech Labs. We'll be back. Okay, that sorry mess is the tank coil that's in there. So we're going to build a 11 meter tank coil and we're going to put it in there, and it's going to look better than that. Because even if I was drunk and stoned, I could do better than that. Oh yeah, not to toot my own horn, but I could. Even blind, shit-faced, blackout drunk, I have built better coils than that. Well, let's get to wrapping. Psychotech Labs, man, we're closing in for the kill on this boot. So what I don't understand is we got some amazing quality work on this, and then we get shit like this. This was just sitting in there. The wrong damn ends. I don't know. I think somebody messed with this after it was built and they didn't know what they were doing. Alright. Well, we got our new tank coil in there. That should work. It's prettier than what I took out. Look at that mess. Alrighty. Well, we put new ends on that. I don't think it's going to help, but we'll put new ends on it anyway. Be right back. It's Psychotech Labs. So, That's not the original meter. It doesn't fit right. The hole's too big. So that's why somebody jury-rigged it like that. Okay, we're going to go ahead and fire up our laboratory 14-volt power supply. Put 14 volts in. We're going to measure and see if we got anything going to the meter. Yay! And I got nothing. So the problem's down in the bottom. I'm not ready to fuck with that right now. But you know what? Might as well get her done. So let's flip her over and get the bottom off and see why we're not getting power through there. Isn't this exciting? Are you excited? I'm excited. We're all excited now. Psychotech Labs. We'll be right back. Okay. It's showtime. So bring this bad boy online. Hello. Audio. 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 Hello. Audio. 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 Okay. So tank coil's not quite right. We'll have to play around with that a little more. It's getting late. I think I'm going to bag it for the day. Tomorrow we'll finesse that tank coil a little more and maximize its coefficiency. So, yeah, that's where we're at. Psychotech Labs, man. We just got to finish up that tank coil, and yeah, we're done, pretty much. All right, catch you later. We're off that key. Bye, bye, bye. Okay, just for the heck of it, I went in and squished the coil together more. That'll add more inductance to the circuit. Then we retune. Let's see if we're putting out more or less. Audio. 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 There's about 600. Audio. Audio. Hello to 600. Audio. Audio. Okay. Now, in my opinion, we need more inductance in the circuit. So we'll wind another coil with an extra turn in it. So, yeah, with the coils spaced out, our tuning was definitely off. Our power was down. Squishing the coils together, that brought her to life. So we're at 600. We'll build another coil. We'll add an extra turn, and that should get her pretty damn close. You want your two variable air gap capacitors, your plate and your load. You want the fins to mesh at about 50%. And if you get them to mesh at about 50%, then you know you're definitely in resonance. And that's not exactly the case on this. So, yeah, I was just going to bag it, but no, I said screw it. I'll squish the coil together. So that's it. Now we're done for the day. We'll build that new tank coil tomorrow with an extra turn in it, and that should finish up the pi network, and pretty much done at that point. We'll try to figure out the high voltage meter. We'll do that after we get the tank coil dialed in. Psychotech Labs, everybody. Have a good day. We're out of here. Bye. Welcome back to Psychotech Labs. So, before we add another coil to that tank coil, we're going to pump a little bit of voltage into this voltmeter, see if it moves at all. This voltmeter says 500 volts, so 14 should move it. Whoa, it's pinning it. So yeah, meter's working. That test is done. So it's something in the circuitry. So maybe there's hope for that circuit yet. Alright, we got to add another coil to the tank coil. Another winding. So let's get to doing that, and then test it all out, see how it loads up. We'll be right back. Okay, we left some extra wire on that coil in case we did have to add a little bit more inductance to the circuit. So yeah, see how it loads up now. Hello. Oh yeah, that's feeling better. Hello. Looking a lot better. Audio. So our target's 800 watts. Audio. That's about what we're getting. Hello. Yeah, this is tuning up a lot better. Hello, hello. There you go, 800 watts. Well, that's we're dead key in 15. Audio. Audio. 15 swinging to 50. Audio. 250 dead key. Audio. 800. Okay. So we've hit our target voltage, or I mean target wattage. I think you could probably spank it a little harder and get a little more out of it. So this is one hell of a good homebrew build. Whoever built this, they were a master craftsman all the way around. Yes, over the years, some people got in there and done some really stupid stuff. But, yeah, I don't know, man. Pretty much all the stupid stuff's been undone. So, I don't know. I think there's nothing left to do but put the screws on it. And, yeah, that's right. We're going to screw it. And we're going to call this this project a wrap. Okay, so another homebrew linear, re-engineered, redesigned by Psychotech Labs to be nice and safe. That's right. It's no longer a Widowmaker. Thanks for watching my videos, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this one. Tried to get better quality audio, so we've done some messing around with a new mic. I think we got it dialed in good. As good as it's going to get. I mean, I'm just not spending thousands of dollars on camera gear. It's not happening. Alright, we're out of here. See ya.